Hey CrossWalk Youth, welcome to CG's. Super excited that you've joined us tonight. Wherever you're at, welcome. We are glad that you are here. If you're taking notes tonight, you can title this short message. It's called The Position of Gratitude. The Position of Gratitude. And I thought with Thanksgiving coming up, why not take some time and talk about being grateful? And I want to read to you a passage from the book of Psalms, chapter 100. I'm going to read the whole chapter, so let's dive in tonight together, and we're going to talk about it with our groups. It says this: lift up a great shout of joy to the Lord. Go ahead and do it, everyone, everywhere. As you serve him, be glad and worship him. Sing your way into his presence with joy, and realize that this really means we have the privilege of worshiping the Lord our God, for he is our creator and we belong to him. We are the people of his pleasure. You can pass through his open gates with a password of praise. Come right into his presence with thanksgiving. Come, bring your thank offering to him and affectionately bless his beautiful name. For the Lord is always good and ready to receive you. He's so loving and it amazes you. So kind that it astounds you, and he is famous for his faithfulness towards all. Everyone knows our God can be trusted, for he keeps his promises to every generation. I don't know if you've ever had a moment where you needed a perspective shift. Oftentimes when we go through life, there's a saying that goes like this. It says, sometimes we can look at things with the cup half empty or view things with the cup half full. Which that basically means that sometimes we can walk through life with the perspective that has a negative filter towards life, or sometimes we can walk through life that has a positive filter towards life. A lot of times when I walk through things, I can naturally look at something and say, man, that doesn't look how I wish it looked, and I can automatically have this perspective of something in a negative way. Oftentimes it's actually Katie that has to remind me, hey, look at what it really is, and I have to shift my perspective to see the cup half full instead of the cup half empty. There's power when we shift our perspective to a position of gratitude. A position of gratitude. That's what we're talking about tonight, and I'm excited to talk about this because I feel like there's power. I don't feel like, I know there is power when we have a posture and a position of gratitude. I don't know what you've been walking through in your life. Maybe just your 2020 in general. We've been looking at it, and you see it on the news, we see it on social media, we see it on every single place we turn. 2020, it's like the lost year. It's the year that everything bad in the world could have possibly happened all at once. It all happened in one year. And we can look at this year with negativity. We can look at this year with a perspective that has a cup half empty feeling. But I want to encourage you tonight to shift the script, to change it and say, you know what? Yeah, this year has not been the most awesome year. But guess what? God is still faithful. You know, there's power when we start to shift the perspective and say, hey, can I focus for a moment on the things that God has done? I believe that God has done, regardless of how awful the year may have felt in moments, that God has done some incredible things in your life. I don't know about you, but just this past week, as I've been reflecting on Thanksgiving, I've been reflecting on the blessings that God has actually given me. This year has actually been an incredible year for my wife and myself in so many ways. Given the circumstances, given the craziness, given all that has happened, God has still been faithful. I love this passage because it talks about God's faithfulness through all generations. That even when we go through difficulties, we can still enter into his presence with thanksgiving and with praise because he's faithful and he will never fail us. I remember growing up, my mom used to have this saying, anytime we would start to complain about things, she'd always say, count your blessings. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. I got so annoyed as a kid every time I'd hear that phrase because it was one of the things that my mom would say to get my mind off of the negative thing and into the positive things. And I want to encourage you tonight, as hard as it can be, I want to encourage you tonight to CrossWalk Youth. And actually, we're going to take some time in our Connect group tonight to simply count our blessings. Can we take time tonight? Can we reflect? Maybe even later this evening, you pull out a journal and just start to write down all the things that God has done in your life, all the good things, all the blessings that He's given you. And I want to let you know that when we actually start to count our blessings and shift our perspective, it actually fuels us for our future. A lot of times if we look at something as a cup half empty, it creates contempt inside of us towards our season or our situation. Contempt always promotes regression, going backwards, staying stagnant. Contempt promotes regression. But gratitude, it fuels progress in our life. And God wants to do great things in your life. God wants to do great things for the rest of this year and moving into 2021. But I want to encourage you tonight to assume the posture, the powerful position of gratitude. I love you guys. Let's talk about this in our Connect group tonight. And I hope that it can speak to you. I hope that God can encourage you tonight. And we are excited for next time we get together. Please keep your eyes open. Watch on social media. Look out for your emails, because we'll be talking to you about the plan for the rest of the year. So you want to be sure to tune in. And we love you guys, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.